the NFL is white culture with black bodies, right? Like it's why I love
Ooh,
the NBA
ooh,
so much.
Rod, you are saying something.
Like I
Say
love
it,
the
say it
NBA so
again. Say
much.
it again.
Mhm.
Say it again. Say it.
The
The
NFL
NFL.
is white culture with black bodies, right?
We're ready. We're prepared. Do not give in to fear. We are fearless. This is not the time to be afraid. This is a time to stand up and fight back and to resist any temptation for them to divide us. We're in this together. The rule of law is on our side. We will not give in, not give up. We will not capitulate. We will not bow. We will not bend. We will survive.
Yesterday, we talked about Angel Reese and RG3, Robert Griffin III. And I didn't realize that he had pulled this monkey picture from an account that had 25 followers or something. And
Mm-hmm.
and I didn't know how diabolical this little tiny self-hating, small-minded ignoramus. I didn't know how small he was. I didn't know
Mm-hmm.
he did that for the attention. Like
Mm-hmm.
how bereft of your own sense of self are you that you need this to feed. So are you broke, sir? Are you broke? I don't
Yeah,
understand.
he's lost his job a couple times. So he's not on TV. I know he has a podcast with his wife.
Ah,
And it's very for lack of a better term, I feel like his podcast is very thirsty, for a
oh,
certain
okay.
type of attention. Like they had
Mm.
the Dana White on there from UFC. They've kind of like it's just like pay attention to me. I don't think anything's working. His social media is the same way, very thirsty for attention. So it's like it's the catch 22 because like what do you do with somebody who attention is the oxygen for their fire, but also what they're saying is inflammatory. So like you want to starve them out, but at the same time, you understand why people are having such a visceral reaction to the negativity that he's putting out into the universe. So I don't know what you do with a guy like him.
It is a struggle. Every day I have to sift through these stories and weigh whether or not it's of value. Even when the
Right.
callers call up, I'm like, what do we gain from this? But since it's Friday, so I
Right.
try to hold these things till Friday.
I
But it was
mean,
the
this is
image.
the right place. I mean, what he
Yeah.
did was very foolish. The way he behaves is very foolish. I mean, if there's any day to discuss it, is today.
Okay. So I'm going to start with Rick Strom, who's on TikTok. He is a melanemic, palm colored person who
Mhm.
seems like a very affable gentleman. He had this to say to RG3 for all. And by the way, we read yesterday Angel Reese's mom's because she
Mhm.
responded to him. He tried to say he was talking to the camp, and the camp said that she hated Caitlin Clark. He's the one that kind of is feeding the logs on the fire, but what he's doing is dangerous for Angel Reese and her
Yes.
family and her life,
Yes.
because unfortunately we live in a world where people are so ready to commit violence on other people because they feel so small themselves. RG3 is a
Yes.
tiny man, and now I'm starting to see maybe the smallness is in every area.
Mhm.
But
Mhm.
play Rick Strom.
This simple message is for Robert Griffin III. If you are not Robert Griffin III, please keep scrolling. Robert, Bob, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. How much bullshit are we going to have to hear from your bitch ass, man? Utter nonsense. We've already seen your coverage. We have seen how uneven it is and how you, knowing the audience that you have gotten from, let's say, for example, your interview with Dana White, where you allowed him to spew utter nonsense on your show, unchecked, promoting so many falsehoods, while you and your wife just sit back and giggle and laugh the entire time and fawn over him because you want to use his guest book for future interviews. You have put a target on Angel Reese's back more than she should ever have. And now you're lying about, oh, I have so many people in her group chat texting me that she hates Caitlin Clark. Wow, that sounds a lot like what you say every single time you could take a shot at Angel Reese and promote Caitlin Clark. And not to be outdone, today you decided to promote on your own timeline a racist image from someone who has like 200 followers on Twitter. Whether you say, oh, this is unacceptable or not, your actions are unacceptable. And you want to keep objectifying people like how you keep calling your wife milk?
Wow.
Bro.
Wait, hold on. He calls his wife milk?
A lot over the years. He refers to her as, like, he'll be like, this is top quality milk, or
Oh
it's
my
milk.
goodness.
They'll
Oh my
take a
goodness.
picture together. He'll post it and say milk and cookies. I guess the
Oh
brown,
wow. Oh,
him
he's
being the
just
cookies.
he's just. So let me ask you this: beyond Robert Griffin III, because he's not the
Yeah.
first, second, third. It's not Jason Whitlock or Candace
Right.
Owen who's found a conscience or something. I don't know. Found that's not as profitable as it used to be.
Yeah.
I'm thinking since maybe even the slave ships, people were like, there were probably some version that there were people on the top side of the ship
Yeah.
helping to usher the people into the bottom of the ship who look like the people in the bottom of the ship. So
Right.
this is not an unusual character, right? All right, I'm just gonna. I want to talk about consequences and repercussions for this. But you already stated what it should be. It should be a starvation of oxygen.
Yeah,
We should
it's
not be
unfortunate
talking about that.
because it's very weird, the formula for him, because he hasn't been making traction in the area he's clearly promoting himself to, right? Like, he wants that kind of conservative MAGA, we hate Angel Reese, we Dana White UFC is completely a MAGA conservative thing. And he just hasn't been it hasn't been working. Like, normally it does work for these guys. It's the reason I think you see a lot of these very loud vocal Black conservatives is because it's the easiest job, right? You could do it and I could do it today. We could both become, it wouldn't even matter what our history was. They're so happy to have you for a little while anyway. And for some reason, I don't know if it's because he never had credibility with Black people or what, but it's just not working. So he's not even getting the benefit, is my point. Like, normally you go, well, we'll starve this guy out, kick him out of the culture. He's never been really in the culture like that. So it's almost like nothing. I don't even know what he's gonna gain from this, because I don't think there's a thing to get, because those people mostly like that we're mad. Normally, the people that come to support him, they're like, oh, give him some money because he's pissed off so many Black folks. This one is just kind of like everyone's just go home, Robert, and then we just go back to laughing at him and move on. So yeah, I don't know what his ultimate game plan is going to be, if he even has one.
Well, we'll see. Or not. I don't want to even see. And then Ryan Clark had more to say. So here's the thing: Ryan Clark should have never apologized. And I'm thinking cornball brother.
Yes.
This is like 20 years ago. It was called out. Shout out to Rob Parker.
Shout out to
another
Rob.
Robert Parker, who called him a cornball brother. Or he's like a cornball brother, and that got him sat down. His contract wasn't renewed because how dare you call a person what he actually is and tell the truth on these airways. You don't get to have a contract.
And at the time, we the public didn't know so much about RG3, and clearly Rob knew some things on the inside because he has connections and he's a journalist, and he wasn't coming out and revealing any sources, but he was like, hey, America, Black America, he might not be with us. He might not be like us, if you know what I'm saying. And I think reflexively, a lot of Black people, especially at that time, when you have Black quarterbacks coming to the league, we're defensive of the Black quarterback, like right or wrong.
Correct.
I'm not saying it's always right, but it's normally right. Let me say that though. It is normally right to have the instinct to be like, leave this brother alone and let him go play quarterback and stop messing with him. And this was the time where it was wrong, because Rob didn't just get it from ESPN. There were a lot of Black folks that got mad at Rob for being like, this young brother is trying to come up in the league, and why are you making it hard for him? And now in hindsight, everybody's like, I'm sorry, Rob. Continue.
Give him back his contract retroactively. Okay. So Ryan Clark, who apologized the first time, which he shouldn't have.
Right.
He should not have. You were spot on. This is the thing, right? Let me ask you a question about apologies. This is for everybody.
Okay.
866-801-8255. I know we're in an anti-apology era where people
Mhm.
do not say sorry for anything.
Right.
But is so Ryan Clark has always kind of, to me, presented himself, or not presented himself. He seems like a very stand-up, forthright, honest, and
Agreed.
sincere person. So, and he doesn't want to talk. He's not there to tear people down. So he
Right.
apologized out of that spirit. But when you tell the truth, you should stand on business. I think. He
I
told the
think
truth
so
about
too.
somebody. Stand on business. Now, and I hate this apology. I'm sorry if I hurt your feelings. That's
Yeah.
something you just keep to your.
That's not
You
even
might as well
really an
not
apology.
apologize. If your
Right.
apology is I'm sorry that you feel this way, or I'm
Right.
sorry if I caused you pain, that's not an apology.
Right.
Keep that to yourself. Don't even bother, because
Right.
all you're saying is I want this heat up off of me.
Right.
So I felt like he shouldn't have apologized because he said what he said, and it
It's
was
tough because we'll never know. But my guess is he got some pressure because he still works at ESPN. He still is
mm,
tied to Stephen A. Smith, who, while at the time was supporting Ryan, he also did say you went too far bringing up his wife. Right. And there were multiple dudes that brought up the man, you don't ever bring up a man's wife thing. And so, right, even if that man has his wife snickering at Angel Reese behind him in his videos, even if that man brings up his wife to fetishize her being a white woman and how she's milk and he's cookies all the time, and you're not supposed to ever bring up the wife, no matter how. And keep in mind, Ryan Clark did not insult his wife when he brought up his wife. He simply
did
said,
not.
like,
That's why I was like,
you're
there's no
fetishizing
apology.
her. Right. He's
Correct.
like, you fetishize her. I don't. I met her. She seems like she's more than just her skin color. And people still took it that way. So I think he mostly apologized because of the probably the pressure on him from higher up and from his peer group, which, and this is a little sticky. Okay. I don't want to insult anybody, but it's a little sticky because there are brothers who are married to white women who do fetishize those white women, who do talk down on our sisters, that are in community in sports. Like it's not
Who?
that far
Like who?
fetched.
Name two.
I don't know all their names. I don't know all their names,
Name one.
but
Name one.
you
Today is
see it. You
Friday.
see it from
Okay.
time to time. You see it from time to time where it's like, damn, bro, you really hard on our sisters to be like coupled up with this white lady. And there's guys whose white women are MAGA people and stuff. Like it's hard to look at a brother that's married to
Oof.
somebody that's MAGA, who's raising half black children at least, and be like, damn,
Like
like
like the
that's
Super Bowl champion.
possibly he could
Previously?
be one of
Yes.
them. He could be one of them.
Okay.
So like
Interesting.
the point I'm saying is like that's Ryan
Huh.
Clark's peer group. So the
Okay.
pressure might not have just been a ESPN or Stephen A. Smith or whoever. I think there's a lot of social pressure he experiences because his Pivot podcast is a social platform, meaning like they have athletes on all the time in all kinds of situations,
Okay.
and they try to keep it positive. And I think he was catching heat from a lot of brothers of
Oh,
whatever
okay.
persuasion who were like,
Oh, this is
not
interesting.
too much on the white lady, not too much on the
Right.
white lady. So that's why he apologized.
So this week we had a caller call up
Mhm.
and talk about, the interracial, it bought like she said her family, all her brothers are married to white women. It makes the family gatherings very tense and not good, not fun. And why do black men always do that? And I had to hit her with the numbers.
Right.
866-801-8255. I'll put out and I will admit, when I see it, I do, but then I talk to myself and I'm like,
Right.
I'm not gonna be in that relationship anyway. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like, I'm not mad at this person's choices because you love who you love. I'm mad at the way society will use those choices or the optics that it
Right.
makes it look like these successful black men, because they do push that out. And somebody also
Right.
mentioned the commercials, But the truth is 85% of black men are married to black women. 85%. 85%. 85% of black men are married to black women.
Right.
So clearly the vast majority of black people are married to each other.
Right.
But if you look at the media, you think that every successful black man, from Byron Allen to Robert Smith III, should I name everybody today? 866. Hold on a minute. Wait a minute. Are married, and there is a, even my favorite billionaire, first billionaire, who wrote a book, Why Should White Men Have All of the Fun, wasn't
Mm,
married to a black woman.
right,
While his legacy, I do think they lean into Asian and black. It feels a way that
right.
the bulk of your legacy and money will be handed down to people who may not even a generation from now, because now, you take Patrick Mahomes, he's
Hmm.
half white or what, and again,
Yeah,
this is a breeding term that goes back to slavery, that's really
right,
rooted in animal husbandry. It's not, and I'm using that word
right,
on purpose. It's not rooted in actual humanity, because we're the same, or else we
right.
wouldn't be able to reproduce. Because a tiger and a lion having a baby, it is a sterile thing. A
Right,
donkey and a horse having a baby, because they're not the same, even though they may look
right,
similarly. We are actually the same. We're the same. We're
right.
all human, right? So there's no half anything. But Patrick Mahomes' children will not look black. Do you know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? No
Hmm.
more so than Eartha Kitt's daughter. And then
Right,
Eartha Kitt's daughter married a man, and that her Eartha Kitt's grandchildren walk the earth as white people.
right.
And there's no knock on her. I get all of that, but I'm saying that at some point when we talk about success, and I feel like maybe on purpose, this
Mm,
is this is part of, if I can just get infecting their minds that this is the cream of the crop, or this is something
mm,
that should be aspired to. Even, I mean, you think about, some of our, James Earl Jones, and
mhm.
it feels some ways, which is why I think we lean heavily into Samuel L. Jackson and
Right.
Denzel Washington on that side. We love Angela and Courtney and Viola, and we lean in because it does feel good to see.
I think also, so it's macro versus micro. Two things are happening at the same time, right? Micro, you meet someone, you fall in love, and it's that simple for a lot of people, right?
Period.
And a lot of times with love, I always say like love just only loves itself, meaning it's a very selfish thing that is about, even though it's involving multiple people, it's still going everything else outside this sphere we don't care about. So I can get how, even the oddest of relationships can end up working on an insular level, but um we also exist in a society where white supremacy is real, where white beauty standards are considered the aesthetic of beauty,
Mm-hmm.
right? Where you look at who earns the most, you look at, what privileges it comes with. And so there's a certain level of like tension there, because are you trying to escape, kind of like, is this your way out of the struggle? Like, listen, I need to get over there. And I think especially when we talk about athletes, and especially the NFL, there's the NFL is white culture with black bodies, right? Like it's why I love
Oh,
the NBA
oh,
so much.
right. You are saying something.
Like I
Say
love
it
the
again. Say it
NBA so
again.
much.
Say it again.
Mhm.
Say it again. Say
The
it. The
NFL
NFL.
is white culture with black bodies, right? It's 85% black league, but you just can't be but so black over there without paying some penalties, right? You stand up for a certain thing, it causes a lot of friction. You say a certain thing, it causes friction, whether it's true or not. It just causes the friction. You can't be bringing that up, right? And when we talk about the culture of the NFL, that culture doesn't start when you get your first paycheck. That culture starts when they're taking these kids out of their neighborhoods, sometimes 10, 11, 12 years old, and they're already pushing them in a certain societal direction, right? Like, this is where the money is where the coaches are. And so when you get to high school, when you get to college, which has people like Tommy Tuberville in it, which has Nick Saban, who's working with Donald Trump on this new NIL thing.
Also,
So,
the Harbaugh brothers, both of them,
yeah,
just secretly met this week with Trump.
Dabo Sweeney, like these are big household names who run things, and their culture is very white Christian nationalists. Like this is what our society is going to be about, and they're taking these black kids, even the ones that go, I'm going to be a father to them. Everybody's not the same kind of father. You know what I'm saying? So like the values they're teaching these kids are not always going to be ones that serve black communities as a whole. And I think the almost militant belief of non-color is what they try to infect these kids with this, like, no, race isn't a thing. It's just sports is a meritocracy. You shouldn't even be worried about that stuff. Just pray to
Right.
Jesus and get on the field, make your money.
Mm-hmm.
And I think all
Mm-hmm.
those things socially push these guys away from black folks. So I don't think it's a surprise necessarily when you see uh when you see the interracial relationships of it, I don't judge that. I don't by the surface. I only judge what you put out. RG3 has put out toxicity about blackness into this culture. You know, before this, it was getting mad at Mina Khan for bringing up the Jackie Robinson, like that the government was taking down Black history. Like he was like, "Don't be talking about politics on TV." Brother, all you doing is talking about politics, whether you just trying to disguise it through Angel Reese or disguise it through whatever, but you're talking politics, and you're sitting there with Dana White, and you're talking about Trump on your podcast and how he's not so bad. So like, you are talking politics. You've just decided a certain type of politics shouldn't be allowed when you're around.
Right.
And so
Correct.
yeah, I think that's where it comes from, and that's where some of our I don't want to say it's some of our dubiousness comes when we see brothers like that moving.
Somebody in the Nubia chat said, what about Kamala Harris? And what about Melody Hobson? And let's add Serena Williams. Let's go.
Yeah.
You know, I do think, and y'all can, let's have a conversation. It's Friday, 866-801-8255, that if we're talking about patriarchy, that male dominance and power, which this country is, if from the Supreme Court to the House of Representatives to the Senate to the presidency, we have never had a woman lead. We have not had too many women. If you look at the Fortune 500 companies, you know, I can literally name like 5 off the top of my head, but there's 500 companies, right? That if a Black woman marries like a Kamala Harris, I don't think of it the same way. And maybe I'm wrong, but I don't look at it like she has she's rejecting brothers or whatever. I think there's different choices.
Well, I think
I feel different. I don't feel like it's a fetish.
Well, once again, because it could be, I don't know. I just judge you by what you put out. I just think it's much more simpler than to just look at somebody and be like, you're not with a Black person, I'm gonna just assume the worst. Because I personally can't live like that. It would drive me insane. I don't want to think like that about people. So I don't assume anything negative. But the thing I would say to that person that wrote that, those women do catch hell. Those women haven't said anything bad about Black men, and I still see people calling them out of their names. They lied on Kamala. She a cop. She lock up Black men. Like they like straight up, just like you can go fact check it and be like, well, that's not the exact full context of that. Don't matter. She's a Black woman. She's supposed to do. Malika Andrews caught hell. Like, and these sisters are just doing their jobs. They're not going on here and going, hey man, how come this Black player in the NBA doesn't like this white guy? Like, they're not even stirring the pot like that. So I just don't see why. Like, once again, if you're not I draw the line at I just saw you in an interracial relationship person, which I'm not, then they got the same freedom that every brother got. Just don't step over this line and start crapping on Black folks for no reason. None of us was asking for. I haven't heard anyone say anything bad about RG3 before he started saying stupid stuff. I know people that were wearing his jerseys, rooting for him, mad Kirk Cousins took his job. They were mad. So this idea that, like, you know, anyway, so all I'm saying is, if Serena Williams was out here being like, Black men ain't nothing, I hate them, or whatever they do, sure, then go ahead. But if not, y'all just mad because somebody fell in love with somebody that's not Black. That's insane.
Correct. Now, so the example of that is Sage Steele, who actually does bring in all Black people. She should keep her mouth. Shut your
mouth.
Candace Owens. You go talk about Black people. Shut your mouth. I think that's a good litmus test, or a general rule of thumb, right? Love who you love, but if you're out here, you keep your mouth closed as it relates to. And I think Black people should keep their mouths closed in terms of like how we talk about one another. Period. Yeah. No, there'll be no Black slander anywhere.
We're ready. We're prepared. Do not give in to fear. We are fearless. This is not the time to be afraid. This is a time to stand up and fight back, and to resist any temptation for them to divide us. We're in this together. The rule of law is on our side. We will not give in, not give up. We will not capitulate. We will not bow. We will not bend.